some scripture, but I don't know a whole lot. Um, but I know the word says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And a lot of things that I do know, I don't know the reference or anything like that. But one of the things that I've learned, or that I'm being challenged in, is that when I am speaking or when I am talking, it's important for me to quote scripture. It's important for me to say where it's found out and why it's there, because a lot of things are taken out of context. When you understand the context in which things are spoken and taken, then it's easier to minister and speak to certain situations and people. But I also realized that as I was thinking about this impromptu, there was so much stuff that just like popped out to me. Like today, when I was leaving for work, I saw a rainbow. Then I had a bag of Skittles, and then some guy was talking. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to go impromptu about these rainbows. So in the beginning, God created everything and it was perfect, and man messed up, and the world just got extremely wicked and evil. So he floods the earth, and he just decides to do completely away with man. But he finds one good man, that being Noah, and Noah trusted God and he served God and he built the ark. He was obedient. So God kept the human race alive through Noah and his descendants, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And so so he floods the earth, he kills everything, destroys everything except the animals. They get out and go through all that. And then God gives this rainbow, and this rainbow is significant of the covenant that God made, saying that he wouldn't flood the earth again. And that's what a lot of the issue, I believe, with the gay community or whatever, is when you take that symbol and you try to use it to boast about the things that you're doing or the acts that you're doing. That's extremely disrespectful. And I have family and friends who are living that lifestyle, and I love them with everything in me, because of who they are to me, but I don't agree with their lifestyle, and it's extremely disrespectful to take a covenant of God and use it to boast and say, this is the way that I'm living. That right there may make some people stop watching or listening, but hey, I'm just going to preach what I know and what I believe. So so when I saw this rainbow, me and the guy were talking, and he was like, well, that means that the sun's out and it's raining. And I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. So then this other guy that I work with, he grew up Catholic or whatever. So he knows about it, but he's not, I don't think, practicing. So then he was like, man, that's crazy, because I looked outside and I saw how it was sunny on one side and there's no clouds right here, but it's raining. And I just thought, man, how can you deny the power of God? The fact that he doesn't need clouds to make it rain, or the fact that you can't even see that far up to see if there is clouds, and yet it's still raining. God is so powerful, and I think of 1 Corinthians, I think chapter 27, it says God has taken the foolish things of the world to put to shame the wise, and he's taken the weak things of the world to put to shame the strong. Um, so that was my impromptu for today. The fact that God made that covenant saying that he wouldn't destroy the earth again by water. Um, but there is another judgment that's coming, and a lot of people believe it'll be with fire, and I don't really know. It doesn't particularly matter. All that matters is that the earth will be judged again, and when that time comes, it'll be the rapture. And if you're not ready, if you're not prepared, if you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ, then you won't go to heaven and spend eternity with God. You'll go to hell, and that's just the gist of it. And no, I'm not bashing homosexuality or the practice of that. I believe that all sin is sin, regardless if it's homosexuality, if it's gluttony, if it's adultery, if it's incest or whatever. Other sin is stealing, lying, cussing. They're all sin, regardless. I don't believe that there's levels to them. But all sin is sin, and it separates you from God. And that's another thing that you have to understand about Christianity. If you do believe that you're homosexual or you are attracted to another male and you're a man, then you have to understand that that's not lawful, and you can't serve God while living that lifestyle. And that's part of the sacrifice that you make. You choose not to do things that you want to do that will gratify your flesh, that would fulfill the desires of your flesh. And you choose to say, God, I'm going to serve you and love you with everything that I am, denying myself and my own desires, and I'm going to walk in you in the way that you called me to live. That's pretty much all it is. It's the same for alcohol. It's the same for sleeping around. You deny yourself and you live for God, regardless of what it is. That's what it is, denying yourself and taking up your cross daily and serving God. There's no way to God except through Jesus and him crucified and resurrected. And that's the message of the salvation, or the gospel. Jesus came and died so that we could have right standing with God and enter into heaven eternally. That's my impromptu today. Rainbows.